Good evening. Thanks for being so present and numerous. This is the Lately Night Show, obviously. And I'm Dusty Spumante. Duh. Anybody watch the Game Awards? Yeah? Couple of you? I didn't watch it. I think awards are dumb, and if you like them, I think you're dumb. Security, please escort those filthy individuals from the building. You probably did hear about the incident, though. As Miyazaki was accepting his award for Dark Souls 2, Kanye West interrupted him to thank Bill Clinton. Then the cameras all pointed at Bill, who was of course at the show. His response was pretty sincere. Let's play that clip.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that man. Mr. West, I never told anybody to lie. Not a single time. Never.
Tonight I want to talk about some of my favorite films. Specifically, I want to be a pedantic twerp and quibble over details that don't matter to anybody but me. But of course, there's always a group of neckbeards who will defend their darlings against any criticism. So, in the spirit of equal opportunity, we've invited the ambassador of the fanboy community to offer his rationalizations.
I don't care.
First up is The Terminator. This is an amazing action sci-fi movie, unfairly remembered largely for Arnold's lines.
I'll be back. Get out. Hasta la vista, baby.
If you're a person of culture, you probably first heard these lines in Scorch, the shareware DOS game from the early 90s. Funny thing about that game, if you didn't pay for it, you'd still get the talking enemy tanks, but instead of your usual one-liner, they tell you to register the game, which is kind of badass in its own way. What if Cyberdyne had used the shareware version of the T-800?
You can't do that.
Please support the developer. At the end, after Arnie gets back up from the truck explosion, he's limping along like your grandma after you suplexed her. Why didn't they just stay outdoors and get away from him? How far is he gonna get chasing them through traffic and other people moving at a snail's pace and looking like this? Instead, they go into a factory with nobody else around and try to recycle him. And then he puts his chocolate in Reese's peanut butter.
Actually, if they just run down the street, the T-800 would have caught up to them on his auxiliary skateboard. They were safer in that factory because there was a no skateboarding sign posted.
Groundhog Day. This comedy is Bill Murray at his best, and Chris Elliott at his Chris Elliottest. It also never hurts to start with a great premise. A sarcastic weatherman gets stuck reliving the same day in a town full of hicks. That just writes itself. Phil tries to take a shower at the end of a bad day, and is greeted with ice-cold water. The hostess says, of course there wouldn't be any hot water tonight. You do know water heaters work when it's cold out too, right? But that's not my problem. When's the last time you wanted a hot shower and you stood under the shower head before you turned it on? Never! Because the water is never going to be hot in the first few seconds. And don't even mention tankless water heaters. Those weren't invented until 1929, and I'm pretty sure this takes place in 1855.
Actually, Phil grew up in a mansion where a team of servants work in shifts to keep all the cold water out of the lines.
Back to the Future. This is a film about a DeLorean investor trying to make his collection appreciate in value. It has something for everyone. You got your time travel, you got your green screen, you got your incest, there's a couple of orange barrels, and who could forget this classic moment?
I got a girl!
Is she pretty?
How did he know Mad Dog wouldn't shoot him in the face?
Actually, that's from the third movie. You just said Back to the Future. So, technically, your argument is invalid.
My Cousin Vinny. I'm a sucker for good courtroom drama, especially when the Honorable Judge Herman Munster is presiding. The story isn't a whodunit so much as a how does an incompetent lawyer prove his clients didn't done it, with a fun clash of accents mixed in. Around the film's climax, Marissa Tomei's character is called to be an expert witness in automotive knowledge. The prosecutor gives her a test to verify that she's qualified. He says, "What would the correct ignition timing be on a 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet with a 327 cubic inch engine and a 4-barrel carburetor?" Then they tease us about her maybe not knowing before she shuts everyone up with, "Chevy didn't make a 327 in 55, which is true. Their small block V8 at the time was a 265. The 327 didn't come out till 62, and it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with a 4-barrel carb till 64. However, in 1964, the correct ignition timing would be 4 degrees before top dead center." Then everyone's jaw hits the floor and she wins an Oscar, and then Joe Pesci shoots the prosecutor in the foot. The problem with this scene is it makes no sense from this guy's perspective. If you want to discredit her, why would you ask her the most oddly specific, trivial question you could think of? The chief engineer at Chevrolet couldn't have answered that question. So if she didn't know, that proves she's not qualified to point out that cars without limited slip differentials can't leave 2 tire tracks like that? No, if she gets it wrong, it doesn't prove anything at all. And if she gets it right, she gets to look like a damn rock star. What a stupid strategy. It's like that scene in Quigley Down Under, where Alan Rickman tries to prove he's a better gunslinger by giving the injured hero a type of gun he's not familiar with and staging a 3v1 shootout.
Actually, Marissa Tomei only got the Oscar because they read the wrong name. It was supposed to go to Dennis Hopper for the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Rear Window. A Hitchcock classic where all the shenanigans are had by all the other characters, and we get to see what it's like to be the nosy neighbor who never leaves the house. So basically, Bewitched from Gladys Kravitz's perspective.
But why isn't her husband helping her? Where is he?
This film has a real mastery of vibe. Way before it was cool to talk about vibes. Where did he find a doctor to put on a cast over his pajamas? Imagine how gross those bottoms are after 7 weeks.
Actually, I've gone 4 months without bathing or changing my underwear, and nothing bad happened to me.
Fargo. Okay, I know, I've done nearly all 80s and 90s films.
So I says to myself, I said, who did some pretty good picture shows in the 2000s there? Well, that'd be the Coen brothers. Oh yeah, you betcha. But if I'm gonna talk about the Coen brothers, I'd have to talk about Hudsucker or Fargo, eh?
But just trust me that I like movies from this century too. So anyway, Fargo. You can pull up almost any random scene from this film and it'll be gold. It strikes a perfect balance between funny and serious. It's set in North Dakota or Minnesota or some such place there. And sure, we're meant to laugh at their accents and simple way of life, but they didn't give in to the temptation to just make everyone a goofball. Take Marge, for instance. She's such a good character. She fits right in with everyone else, but she's also good at her job and unfazed by the murders in their small town. And she's tactful. She makes this guy not feel so dumb for bad police work by throwing in a joke. Also, the movie perfectly summarizes Steve Buscemi's appearance.
Oh, he's a little guy, kind of funny looking.
Uh-huh. In what way?
Oh, just in a general kind of way.
Let's see. There must be something. Ah, there we go. They misspelled accordion.
Actually, English is a constantly evolving language. So, all those times I said begs the question were perfectly fine, and nobody's ever wrong about anything.
That's all we have time for tonight. Everyone in the live audience, stick around for a game of harpoon tag. All you viewers at home, tune in for the next Lately Night show, unless they replace me with Conan O'Brien. Good night.